Hey guys, so today is day 14, and today what I want to talk about is goal setting. I do have a little bit of notes today, but there's a reason for it because I actually want to share some of my goals and reasons, and I'm going to give you 3 steps of how to actually do this. I don't want to say properly, but how it's been working for me. So obviously the first thing that I set out to do was finish these 30 days of videos. That was my goal to set out. And if you notice from yesterday's video, I was a little bit tired. It was a little bit late in getting that video out. It was about 9 p.m. my time. And I really don't know if it's better to just put out the content to stay on my 30 days, or if it would have been better to, you know, just forego and have more enthusiasm and be more into it and wait. You know, maybe you guys have some feedback for me on that, whether it fell a little bit short because of lack of emotion or lack of enthusiasm behind it, or whatnot. But I think for myself, it was important for me to just make sure that I put that day out and I stayed on my 30-day task, because I know personally that if you stop one day, like working out, you know, I'll get into working out and I'll be doing it good for a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then I take a day off, and then one day becomes 2 and I can make it up. You know, I'll just work out the next 5 days in a row, and I fall off. So for me, I know it's being consistent, but I've realized that consistency set with goals is how things start happening. So in doing the challenge, I sat down first, even before I started doing the videos, and I thought to myself, do I have 30 days of anything to talk about? Is there something that I can be relevant, that I can be informative about, that's going to be interesting enough for me to do 30 days about? So I sat down with the pen and paper, and I got maybe 1 through 5, day 1 through 5 written down. And then the next day was like 6 through, I don't know, let's say 10. And then, you know, the next day was from there to 17. And when I got up into about 25, 26 day, as writing down these things, it just started blowing up. I got to day 33 on paper. And then from day 33, I got to like day 43. And now so much content, I don't think I can shut up. But the thing that was important was actually writing down a bunch of topics that I felt comfortable talking about or sharing with. And then as I've been shooting these videos, things have just been coming to mind about, well, what am I going to talk about today? Something that happened that day, something that's relevant, something that I feel that maybe that day in particular was needed for me to share. So today what I want to share about, like I said, is goal setting and what I've what I've learned from goal setting. So everybody that I've ever learned from, whether it was from a book, you know, watching a video or a movie on their biography, or listening to audibly, they said, if you have a goal and you don't write it down, then it's basically just a wish. And what makes it stick more, maybe it's a subconscious thing, but it's writing it out and actually seeing it and saying it and repeating it so that it's something that's attainable. So there's 3 steps into goal setting. Obviously the first one that doesn't really count is why, but you're going to write down, is writing it down. But the 3 ways to do goal setting, you're going to ask yourself, what is it that you really want? You know, the second one is why do you want it? And the last one is how are you going to get it? So let me dive a little bit into each one. So what? It could be very vague, but they say that if you aim low, I forget how the saying goes, something like if you aim for nothing, then you'll hit the target every time, you know. But if you have a direct or a distinct target and you have that set and you're actually aiming for it, that gives you a better chance of obtaining that goal. So I've been learning a lot about affirmations. I've heard a lot about affirmations, and before my affirmations were something that was kind of just wild out there, you know. So I'd say, oh, I want to be a business owner. Well, technically, by me starting my LLC, ding, I'm a business owner, you know. And then I could say, oh, I want to be a note investor, a real estate investor, and ding, because that's my niche and that's the field that I'm in, you know, I'm a real estate investor. But I really want to have things attainable or tangible that I can put down to know that I've hit these marks of success. So for my what? To be real descriptive, to be real direct with it, give yourself a date or a timeline that you're going to accomplish this. So dating is very important. Also, if it's a monetary amount that you want to achieve, then put down that amount. And then as you're putting these things together, it starts taking an actual form or shape of its own. And whether you want to say, again, your subconscious is going to help you to achieve this, or it's just realizing like, oh shoot, you know, I said this 28 days ago and I haven't even started yet, then you know, what are you really doing with it? So one of my things that I put down is by June 18th of 2019, I will have earned $120,000. That's my first goal that I wrote down. Is a year from writing these goals down. I started this back in June. A year from writing these goals down, I want to have obtained $120,000 net profit. That's after paying out taxes. That's after paying out whatever fees I have. $120,000 earned. And I want, and I'll you know, hopefully, hopefully I'll still be around then to give you a video update on whether I obtained it or not. But the reason about being so direct with it, besides having the target, it's also because you're gonna have something to look back on, you know, and okay, maybe it happened in July of that year, you know, maybe I was off. So what could I have done to make sure that I hit that target? But it's being very distinct about it, and it's not just saying that I'm gonna be rich, you know, or I'm gonna be successful, but put a number to those things, and that's really gonna help you to get there. I heard a story about Jim Carrey, and I don't remember the whole story, but Jim Carrey, before he became famous, he used to go up to the Hollywood Hills and look at those houses, and one day he was sitting in one. He says, you know, I'm gonna live in this house one day, and he wrote himself a blank check written out to him, Jim Carrey, for I think $1 million, and he put a date on it. And I maybe it was like 10 years out, or I can't really remember how many years it was out, but 10 years, 1 year, 2 years to that date that he wrote down on the check, he was able to cash his own check for $1 million because he had already accumulated. It was from the movies, I think the Dumb and Dumber movies or something like that, he had said. But he really put dates and numbers and made it something that was tangible. The other thing is on how you're phrasing it, on how you're phrasing these sentences and how you're writing these sentences down. So something I learned is the words that we say and the words that we play with in our head are what our lives kind of come out to be. So when someone says, I want to lose 30 pounds, I want to lose 20 pounds, I want to lose 50, whatever, your mind equivalates losing something with wanting to find something. You know, I lost my keys. You know, you don't want to just lose your keys and not find them. You want to find your keys that are lost. So your mind's like, wait a minute, every time he loses something, he wants to find it. So if you want to lose 30 pounds, you're going to find 50 pounds somewhere else. You know, that's just the way the mind works. So you have to change your way of thinking and use your word processing and saying, I want to get rid of 30 pounds. I want to get rid of 50 pounds, 40 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever. Because then your mind thinks, oh, when he gets rid of something, he gets rid of it. He abandons it. He doesn't want it anymore. He trashes it. He doesn't recycle or reclaim it. He gets rid of it. So, and not only writing them down and being direct and distinct about what you're saying, but also in how you're wording it. And how you're wording it is very important, and how you want to say it. So again, I heard someone, maybe it was Earl Nightingale, I don't remember who it is, but they said people that say they want to make $1 million, they don't understand what they're saying, because the only people that make money are those that work in the mints, and those are the ones that are actually making the bills. Everybody else earns money. So I want to earn $120,000 by June 18th, 2019. You know, I want to earn. So again, it's using the different words. It's using the words that are going to project that in your mind state to help your mind or your mental state, your subconscious state, find out exactly what it is that you need to obtain. So the first one is your what. So what is it that you want? What is it that you want to do? And be direct, be distinctive, and watch the wording as you're writing these down. The second one is your why. Now, your why isn't what you want, but your why is, why do you want that? Why do I want that $120,000? Well, the reason why I want that money is, my why is because I want to retire and be able to do this full time. I want to retire from any other kind of labor intense construction jobs that I have and be able to do this full time. The problem with people's why is they usually have a big butt. I've heard it like that. They have a big butt. You know, well, I want to get into real estate, but, well, I want to learn this, but. So your why has to be bigger than your butt. Well, I can't learn this. I want to learn this, but I don't have enough money. So then how do you get that money to get educated, to get yourself in that position to learn? So my why. Eric Thomas talks about you're not successful because you're selfish, because you think about yourself. Because if you thought about what she wants to do, it would make you hustle to get that. If you cared about what they want to be when they grow up, if you cared about why she needed you to be successful, that would make you do something. He goes as far as saying that you're so comfortable in what you're doing or not doing that she has to walk past you to go to work while you're playing video games or whatever it may be. So the why. My why is not the same as my wife's why, in the sense that it's something that's the Lord's put on her heart. So one of her whys is to foster babies and toddlers, young kids. She wants to foster them. Not to say that I'm not part of that, because we've talked about it, we agree upon it. But I need to get her a big house. I need to get her enough rooms so that way she can take in as many of these babies as she wants. So my why isn't my why, but it's her why. But it's got to be bigger than my why. It's got to be bigger than my but. Well, I can't do this because, or, well, yeah, I understand what you want, but no, I need to be able to achieve this for her. I'm trying to do this so that way I can get that big house with those bedrooms. So that way, my why is why, because I want to have her be able to take in these babies. I want her to pour into these babies and these kids. And that's part of my why. It's bigger than what I want to do. Yeah, I want to retire. Great, whatever. I can retire in X amount of more years from my regular job, but that's not going to help her achieve her why. So my why doesn't just do what I want to do. One of my older boys, he just turned 9 today. It's his birthday. Happy birthday, Joe. But he's big into baseball right now. Little League. He loves it. He loves it. And I don't want to say, oh, mijo, we can't do this because I can't afford a training coach for you. We can't do this pitching because I can't afford. My why is him. I want to be able to do it for him. So a why that I have is because Melissa and myself want to be financially independent, financially literate, and financially responsible. We'll become the lenders and not the borrowers. Again, I'm being direct of why. Why? It's financial freedom, it's financial independence, and to be able to. We've been in predicaments where we've had to borrow from family and friends, mostly family. But I want to be able to be the lender and not the borrower. That's a big why of mine. So why? Why is it that you want to do what you want to do? And the last part is how. You've heard it said before that you don't get something for nothing in this world. And I said it before in another video. Zig Ziglar always says, you help enough people get what they want and you'll get what you want. So the how. You have the what do you want, you have why you want it, but how are you going to get it? Well, one of my things that I wrote down is by educating myself, positioning myself as an expert, and generally having a concern for others and their financial education and freedom, and for giving my clients a service that is unmatchable. So that's how I'm going to obtain it, by being the best at my business, by giving the best care and service to my clients and customers as I can. That's how I'm going to do it. It's not just saying how by being a note investor, by doing notes, but by the quality and value of care that I give to each and every one of my deals and to my investors. That's how I'm going to do this. By continuing to educate myself and being up to date on laws and being up to date on my product and my service, educating myself on, like I said, online marketing and social media, and getting myself and my business out there. That's how I'm going to obtain these things. So today, guys, again, it's just goal setting. What is that you want? Why do you want it? And how are you going to get it? Be direct, be distinctive, use those words, retrain your mind to use the words, not that we were taught to use. Henry Ford coined the phrase, whether you say you can or you can't, you're right. If you say you can't do it, you're right, you can't do it. But if you say you can do it, then yeah, you're right, you can do it. So just think about the way you're thinking about things, the way you're looking at things. Get into goal setting, start writing them down, making them tangible, read it every morning, set those affirmations, redirect your mind in the way that it's going or thinking, and goal setting. My first goal was finishing these 30 days. I'm about halfway there. Tomorrow's day 15. So I thank you guys for watching. If you have questions or comments, share below, or contact me directly. Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you on day 15.